in the previous example, there's one fact that is pretty important, and I wasn't really clear about it. Basically, all of the interest rates or the yields that I calculated in the previous videos were effective rates, right? What's an effective rate? An effective rate is a J1. It's an interest rate that is compounded annually, okay? That's in opposition to nominal rates that are not compounded once per year, right? So an effective rate is an interest rate that's compounded yearly. A nominal rate, it would be an interest rate that is compounded semi-annually, quarterly, or monthly. Okay. The issue, for example, if you have a nominal rate of 5% compounded semi-annually, the issue here is that that's not actually 5% per year. It's actually more than that. 5% compounded semi-annually is actually 2.5% every 6 months. And that's going to end up at the end of the year because of compounding to being more than 5%. Okay. Um, the issue that comes with that is that in the real world, when you calculate rates or when you have rates that are given to you, if you go on the financial pages, okay, by convention, these rates will always be nominal rates that are compounded as often as your payments are. Okay, so for example, you look up a bond online. The interest rate on that bond, the yield on that bond, will be the same frequency of the coupon payment. So if the bond pays semi-annual coupon, the yield that the web page gives you will be a semi-annual yield. Okay. Unfortunately, if you need to calculate the weighted average cost of capital and you go get yield online, then these yields are not useful for you, right? We will need to change those yields into effective yields in order to get the correct rate to use for our calculations. If you're using a financial calculator and you're finding the yield by yourself, it's actually pretty easy. You just always put C over Y is 1. If you put C over Y in your calculator is 1, the yield that you calculate when you compute the yield, it's always going to give you an annual yield or an effective yield. So you're fine. Okay. The problem comes from when you go get yields online, or if I give you in a question a yield that is not an effective yield but a nominal yield. In that case, you can either use the ICOM function in your calculator, or you can use this formula here, okay? Just take 1, add the nominal interest rate divided by the number of compounding periods per year, put all of that to the power of the number of compounding periods per year, and minus 1. You can use one of these two methods, the ICOM function or this formula. Both work, but you cannot keep the nominal yield. So the really important thing for this video that you need to remember, when you calculate the WACC, never ever use a nominal rate. Always use an effective rate. Okay. In the next video, I'll have an example and I'll show you how to use the ICOM function and this formula here to convert your interest rates.